So, good evening, everybody. Shout out to those who are watching on the replay as well. If you are listening on the Ats on This TV audio experience on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify or wherever you are listening, thank you for listening. Please reach out and drop me a tweet. Let me know you've seen this on the replay. Let me know you've listened to this on the audio experience. It's at Act on This TV, at Ross A. Grant. It's got loads to talk to you guys about tonight, and I want to start with just what I was saying before we kind of went live properly. Just a few people in a little waiting room outside as we wait for these broadcasts to start on a Monday. At the moment, okay, I'm recording this on the 29th of June 2020. There is an awful lot of negativity in the air. There's an awful lot wrong with the world right now. Okay, I get that. I completely appreciate that. I'm on board with it all. I'm an ally to all of that, and I want to, of course, we all want to stamp out what's wrong with the world. However, if we're not careful, and this is just what I've experienced in my own life over the last 3 months since lockdown, since COVID, and then since the world's kicked off left, right, and centre, is that if we're not careful and all we focus on is the problems, that in itself instantly will just drain you of your energy completely. If you're reaching for your phone first thing in the morning and you're looking down your news feed, on even any social platform, actually, not even necessarily just Sky News or something like that, you're generally going to see, I said statistically, the news will serve you 17 pieces of negative news for every one piece of positive news. And that was something that was discovered in the 70s. Like 1972, they did a survey of Time magazine, and they realized that all of the covers, all the most popular magazine issues of Time magazine, one of the biggest magazines in the world, the most popular covers were all the negative ones. They were the ones that sold the most, the controversial ones, the ones that just fed negativity. And that's because it feeds into a part of us that's part of our being, which is called negativity bias, where we feel as human beings, we have to know about everything that is wrong in the world in order to protect ourselves from that. And that's why I started watching the news again when COVID hit, because I thought, actually, for once, there is a real benefit to actually watching these news briefings and watching, this unfold, because this is completely unknown. I've never lived through a pandemic. Actually taking on the information from the news could save my life. 9 times out of 10, that isn't the case. It will just, in most circumstances, just feed you with what's wrong in the world and everything, and the hatred and the wars and this injustice and that injustice. It's not a great thing normally to take in. But I think loads of us have taken that in over the last 3 months, even if we wouldn't normally have done. And then it's been compounded by a lot of other things that are wrong in the world right now. There's a lot of movements that are just, obviously need a lot of work. And that what that can do, I don't know if you've experienced that, but for me, that's just, my energy's been low on occasion. I feel like, oh my God, you can feel quite hopeless when you're just being fed day in, day out with all of this stuff. And another knock-on effect of that is it makes all of us feel a little bit like we're not entitled to be happy right now, because there's so many people who aren't for real reasons of injustice. That can make you feel that if you are happy or something is good in your life, that actually, I feel guilty for being happy right now. I shouldn't be happy because all these other people here, these are being persecuted. There's loads of injustice over here. This has happened to them. This just happened in London. This just happened in Glasgow. This just, so, the message really is just that it's absolutely your duty to be happy, right? And to amplify your joy in the world and within this industry and within the acting industry. If we relate it to this right now, yes, there is so much wrong in terms of the theatre world is being pretty much annihilated. However, what I want to kind of hit home is, let's just pretend the worst of the worst case scenario hits, right? And we go, right, all of these theatres have to close down. Horrific, horrendous, right? However, was there a time previously where there were no theatres and then they were built and then we created this industry? Yes. Can we do it again? Yes. So ultimately, there's never going to be, there's never going to be a world where we don't have theatre, where we don't have performance, where we don't have the arts. It will be tough and we might have to completely start again. But are we just going to roll over and give up and go, oh, woe me, that's it, I can't perform now because this theatre's closed down? No, of course not. So I just want to kind of make some positivity a bit louder tonight at the start of this broadcast and just bring a bit more optimism, right? If it all goes tits up, if you're allowed to say that these days, we're going to fix it. We'll make it better. We'll start again because there's shitloads of us who want to be in this industry. And I don't think anybody, regardless of what the government do and the support they give or the support they don't give, I don't think anybody's just going to roll over and go, that's it then, forget it. I'm a big believer that, you know, if you're not allowed, I mean, this is just across the board, but, you know, if you feel that you can't do something because of someone else, or you can't get access to the table, you always, you know, hear people, oh, you know, I'm never the one who can sit at the table with those guys, though. I just want to get into that circle of actors or agents or casting directors. I just want to be at the table. Fuck being at their table. Make your own table. And that's what we'll do. We'll all just make our own table and we'll just sit at it ourselves. So don't feel bad for being optimistic, for being joyful, for being happy right now when there is things wrong with the world, because it needs it. We need more of that. So let's just begin on a positive note for this week, that we just need to start raising the vibrations a bit, I feel, because, and that's just me personally, because I feel that sometimes I've sat quite low over the last couple of weeks on occasions, and I've had to really muster deep to just pick myself up and go, no, fuck it, like, this isn't all going to collapse and go wrong. You know, yes, all right, you're not doing acting work in 3 months, but it's all right, right? Even if we all, you know, we don't do anything for a year, 18 months, right? It'll get to a point where we hit a point where we go, no, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm just not wallowing in this bullshit anymore. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something about it. So that's what we do as a community. And that's what I want you to take from this first part of the broadcast. What's going on in the comments now? I've had my little rant. Sarah Jane says, glad to be in a positive space tonight. Honestly, I feel like, all right, Gemma beat me on Mario Kart on Friday night. Not happy about that. Yeah, I just feel that sometimes, that there's a suppression of energy in our industry right now when no one is allowed or feels they're allowed to express any positivity, joy, or optimism. I think there's an echo chamber, particularly on Twitter, where it is like desperation, and I want to break that cycle. And it's not undermining the situation, the seriousness of it, because it is serious. But ultimately, life's about alternatives, and you have 2 options. You let it beat you, or you rise from it and you overcome it. And I just don't, the alternative of letting it beat me is unthinkable for me. It's just pointless. It will never, ever, ever do any of us any good. So, we're going to keep it totally positive, and we've got a lot to be positive about. And if you look for the positivity in the world, I promise you will find it, because it is absolutely everywhere. So yeah, and also I'm very happy because, and I'm going to be happy and I'm going to be joyous about it, because I'm getting my hair cut next Saturday. As Richard Haler says, Ross, I'm waiting for a surfer to appear on the crest of that wave of yours. The quiff is big. One thing lockdown has taught me more than anything, the biggest lesson for me for over this entire time, this is just for me, there's been multiple occasions where I've had to be massively patient. The first instance was within 3 days of lockdown. My crown, like I'm a king. The crown of my tooth, my bottom tooth, you can't really see it down there. That tooth there is a crown. I had it put on 14 years ago. I fell over and I smashed my teeth off the pavement in playing football. Wasn't good. Really was not good. And I had a crown put on. And then 3 days into lockdown, it fell off. And I had to wait 75 days or something like that to have it put back on. And being on camera all the time and doing all the broadcasts for AtsOnThis.tv, it was difficult, man. And I was having to glue it in. I was self-conscious. I was trying to like hold it in on occasion and talk without it flying out of my mouth. That was a massive like thing on patience. The gym, waiting for that to be open again, has been a huge like patience thing for me, because I've had to try and find how to do workouts outside of the gym, and I struggle with that, to be honest with you. I like going into a place where it's dedicated, that when I'm in there, I'm there to work out and nothing else. Working out in my kitchen with weights, there's lots of distractions like cake, so it's not a great place to work out. And the other thing, mate, yes, as superficial as it seems, has been a haircut. When you are, you all as actors and stuff, when your job is to be in front of an audience and other people, and you like to feel and look your best, then yeah, when basically you're putting on weight because you can't work out, your hair's an absolute mess and your teeth are falling out. It's like, it's been a challenging time, but I'm very optimistic now. And yeah, I've got myself an appointment with Isabel Steele out of Coronation Street. She plays Liv in not Coronation Street, in Emmerdale. Oh, she'll kill me for that. In Emmerdale. Her dad, Phil Steele, is a hairdresser. He cuts my hair, so I'll even relate that to acting as well. Last couple of weeks, I had a lull, said Pete, and stopped doing all the stuff I was doing, but getting back on it this week. I think we all have, I am like normally so freaking motivated. Sometimes, and I'm not making this up right, I'll go to bed so excited that I can't sleep. And I just don't want to sleep, like, because I'm just happy about what I'm going to do the next day. Like, I'm normally very happy and upbeat, but on occasions, like, yeah, my routine has gone to shit. I'm not working out in the mornings like I used to. I've not been as disciplined there. I'm staying up late to do more work because my workload has been bigger than it has been normally. But, you know, like, this is just like a few weeks of our life. You know, we're going to get back on track. Right, so I've got a lot to get through tonight. Okay. I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about this Thursday's upcoming webinar for actonthis.tv members. If you're not a member yet, I'm going to tell you why you want to become a member. We're doing some incredible stuff. We're going to have a little recap on last week's live webinar that we did with the incredible BAFTA-nominated actor Daniel Mays, star of White Lines for Netflix, star of Code 404. He stars with Stephen Graham in Sky's Code 404. He also was in 1917, Sam Mendes' film. 1917, incredible actor, an incredible career over the last 20 years. He's really working on all the jobs that we all want to work on. And we had him in for a live 2-hour chat last week with premium members of actonthis.tv. And that's what we're doing every single week. You get one of these closed-door coaching calls. It's completely private, just for members of Acts on This. And Danny was absolutely amazing. One of my favourite guests that I've had completely, you know, just ever, in terms of his energy. You know what? His energy was high. He wasn't in a lull. And I'm sure a lot of people who you know, maybe came to that webinar feeling a bit like that, definitely left it feeling better. We spoke about all kinds of stuff on that webinar. It's 2 hours long. The recording of it is over on actonthis.tv. I'll show you where you can find that in a minute. But I've just took a little clip whilst I was talking. I was planning tonight and thinking about positivity and mindset and stuff like that. And self-talk is so important. And there was a question asked on this webinar about self-talk, getting out of your head, ultimately, you know, so you can be more present when you're acting. But I think, like, this applies to just life, getting out of your head so you can be more present in life. Here's just a little clip of what you missed. It's only 2 minutes long, but I thought nice little clip to sort of start off with tonight.
Have you got any techniques to get yourself in the scene and not, you know, talk to yourself as much?
I think, look, being nervous and having self-doubts, all those things aren't necessarily a negative thing, because, I mean, it shows that you're human. It shows that you've got a passion for what you're doing. But it's definite technique to use those to a positive effect, as opposed to letting them affect what you're doing in the moment. Do you know what I mean? So as much as you possibly can, use it, but don't let it completely overwhelm you when you're in the space. Do you know what I mean? So it's, and I guess that's just techniques of talking to yourself, of trusting the preparation that you've done, the techniques that you've learned, the lines that you've learned, the thoughts that you put into it, and all of the preparation. And I think if you know that you've done your homework, if you know that you've got that sort of foundation in the performance that work, then just go out and sing with it, you know, go out and try and be as instinctive and as loose as possible. Yeah. Because and I think, you know, if you're doubting yourself, then you're not going to be able to play the character. All of the doubts and the worries and the stress that's going through your head on stage, let me tell you, no one in the audience is going to pick up on that, you know. And if you make a mistake in a performance on stage, the greatest advice I got was just cancel and continue. I'll tell you what it is, Dave, I get very nervous around press nights, because that whole notion of being judged on one performance alone is quite a daunting thing. But no, I remember doing this play with David Bradley, and I must have looked absolutely petrified in the wings. And he turned around and he went, Danny. I went, yeah. He went, what's the matter with you? I said, no, I'm G. He said, just fucking get out there. He said, it's another performance. It's just another performance. Yeah. And it was quite sobering. And I just went, yeah, it is. And from that point on, it's all sort of water off a duck's back, really.
Boom. I absolutely love that clip. If you want to listen to the, watch or listen to, your choice is yours, the full 2-hour chat with Danny, literally, I promise you that will absolutely fire you up. But let me just take you over for those who are watching live. Actonthis.tv. You members, you'll find it in your members area. If you're not a member, just get a freaking membership. Seriously, just what you're doing. You will find, actually, you can watch a 15-minute trailer of it if you want, a little preview of it. You'll find it there. It's just titled very simply, have confidence in your own ability. Because that's something that I think a lot of actors just struggle with, and maybe just in and out of your acting career as well. But like Danny said there, what I loved about that little clip was David Bradley said to him, just effing get out there. It's just another performance, right? Just, and what he said there about, just cancel and continue. When shit goes wrong in your life, because it will do, whether you're on stage or not, the whole world is a stage, according to Shakespeare, and we're all players. Just cancel and continue. And that's, again, just goes back into what we were saying at the beginning of this entire broadcast. There's a lot going on, a lot of dodgy stuff right now, but we've just got to cancel it and continue and just crack on. So that was amazing. Yeah, let me know if you were there and you were part of that broadcast. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. I've got a couple of other clips that I'll probably play by the end of this broadcast to show you some other words of wisdom and some knowledge bombs from Mr. Mays. But he's just so good. I'm getting him back on again. This is going to be something that I'm recording in a couple of weeks. It's not going to be live just because it can't, because we're talking about a show that isn't out yet, but I'm going to be doing a round table, fingers crossed, that all members will get access to, where it'll be me, Lewis Arnold, incredible director, David Tennant, Jason Watkins, and Daniel Mays. So there'll be 5 of us all talking about their brand new project, Des, which is an upcoming ITV drama starring those guys. True story, based on a true story, an incredible 3-part drama that will be out later this year. So look forward to getting Danny back on the show. So that was the first little clip. Mindset, yeah? Again, I just want people to be really conscious of their mindsets at the moment. It's just something that I'm making myself very, 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 very aware of. In terms of, this week, I don't know what to go on to next because there's quite a lot of stuff to get through tonight. In terms of this week's live broadcast that we're doing on Thursday night, okay, this is going to be about a topic that I get asked about probably more than anything else. And I've touched on with ActsOnThis.tv members in the past, but I've never gone into loads of depth with them. It's been mostly about acting, ActsOnThis.tv, but that topic is voiceover. Okay, now voiceover I still class as an area of our industry. I got into voiceover 15 years ago, and I swear to God, no understatement. You all know this story if you've been around the industry a long time with me, been around ActsOnThis.tv a long time. It changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. Before I got into voiceover, I was working for minimum wage in a toy shop, a computer game shop called Game in the Trafford Centre. The Trafford Centre might have to close down. Intu's going under. Again, more negativity. Let's not think about it. I was working in Game. I wasn't enjoying my time there, to be honest. I'd been there for many, many years. I'd been through drama school. I'd left drama school, and I was getting nowhere in my acting career because I was full of limiting bullshit beliefs that I had to starve for my art, right? What a load of shit. You hear this starving artist stuff all the time, right? And it's nonsense. You hear a lot of this. Oh, you've got to struggle for your art and starve for your art. You don't, right? It's a lie. They're lying to you, okay? I used to believe it was the case, though, and I would hang out with other starving artists, and we'd all get together and we'd complain about our day jobs that were in retail and bars and restaurants or doing something that we hated in an office. And then we would complain how there's no auditions out there, our agents aren't getting us any work, we can't get all the casting directors, just can't get in the room. It's a load of bollocks, right? I was hanging out with 5 whinging, whining actors, and I became the 6th. And that's where you've got to really audit who you're hanging out with. Are you hanging out with other people who are just bringing you down because their energy is always low and that they're very negative and they're not getting anywhere in their career, so they don't really want to help you get anywhere in your career because it's going to make them feel bad, okay? You don't want to be hanging around with people like that. You want to be hanging out with 5 inspired, motivated actors, mostly found in Acts on This in our community, and you'll become the 6th of those. But I was kind of kidding myself, working, I think, 30 to 40 hours a week in this job. Somehow expecting out of the blue to get somewhere in my acting career. It was never going to happen. I was just delusional. I was absolutely delusional. But I was comfortable enough in that job that although I was earning a terrible wage, it was enough to cover what I needed to live, and I could still go out on the weekend and get drunk with my mates. So I was like, oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll figure out my acting career another time. And it wasn't until I had loads of really bad stuff happened in my life, really. My dad died, found out I was losing my eyesight. I was like, God, like, something needs to change here. I need to, like, get my shit together so I can actually start enjoying my life. And one key aspect of that was I'd always been really interested in voiceover, but I had no idea how to get into it. And I just booked, actually serendipitously, two things happened at once. I did a corporate job. I used to present corporate videos when I just left drama school to kind of pay some of my fees back. And it was on a really late night edit, right? I was doing a corporate video for Iceland, okay? That's why mums go to Iceland. I used to do the voiceover for Iceland as well. I didn't at the time of this corporate video, though. I was doing this corporate video for Iceland, and what we had to do is we would finish, like, presenting this video at a conference for Iceland at, like, 10 o'clock, and we had to have it edited for 9 o'clock the next morning to play out the highlights of that day to the Iceland employees the next day at breakfast. So it meant pulling some all-nighters. And there was a guy called Rob who was the editor, and I was sat there and he was editing the footage from the day, and I was telling him what we'd shot and, you know, what I thought my best takes were or whatever. Whilst drinking, doing the edit at 3 o'clock in the morning. And his friend was a director at the BBC who had set a voiceover agency up in Manchester, and he was on their books. And I was doing a stupid impression drunk of Alan Partridge. And he said, maybe they'll be able to get you to do some, like, pretend, you know, like, spoof Alan Partridge voices, you know, like birthday cards that you open. It'll say, like, oh, it's your birthday. He said, get in touch with them. Maybe there'll be some work there for you. So I did. And ultimately, nothing kind of came of it, really, because they were established and they were, like, you know, they were representing really established voices and some celebrities and stuff. And then about 3 months later, I found out Rob, who was on their books, by the way, because you know, Rob was a good voiceover artist himself, even though he was an editor, and he was their general northern voice. And I found out Rob was emigrating to Canada. So that left a space on the books. So that's when I kind of like went, right, I need to somehow get in there and get that space. So to cut a long story short, that's what happened. I went on a workshop with the voiceover agency. And then from the workshop, I then said, right, I really enjoyed that. I'll do another workshop with you. And then it was on that second workshop where they went, yeah, I'll give you a chance if you want. And you can kind of fill Rob's place. And I remember the first job was for Comet. Does anyone remember Comet? The electrical shop? Back in the day, it closed down yonks ago probably. Don't even know how many years ago, but they were doing an internal coaching, corporate kind of. It was a CD actually that you put in your car, and you listen to it on your way to work. This is how old we're going. iPods didn't exist or anything, and what it was is I was told that I wasn't going to get paid for that job, but they'd booked 4 hours of studio time, and that cost like 120 quid an hour or something like that. And if I could finish this job in less than 4 hours, because they have to pay for 4 hours anyway, I'd get whatever was left over. And I remember doing it in like 3 hours and 15 minutes or something, because I'd really prepared the script. It was a long script to voice. And I got paid 80 quid. And that was 2 days' wages at my shop at that computer game shop. And I went, holy shit, I've earned 2 days' wages in 4 hours. If I actually work at this, and that was a corporate job, you don't get paid very well for corporate jobs, you get paid very well for commercials and adverts. I thought, what can I do with this? And I just went all in on voiceover for a bit, because I thought if I can start earning money, I can leave this job that I hate, and I can then free up loads of time, and then that'll give me time to focus on my acting career, time to go to auditions. I don't have to try and take time off work, because that was a big problem, swapping shifts at work and stuff when I had an audition. Sometimes I just couldn't go. I just went all in on it. And again, to cut a long story short, I reduced my working hours by tenfold. So I went from working like 30 hours a week, something like that, 40 hours a week, to like 3 hours a week. And started earning 3 to 4 times what I was getting paid, like annually. By getting into voiceover, it changed the game for me. It absolutely changed the game. It's not a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. You've got to be good at it. You've got to practice it. But as actors, you've probably got 70% of what you need to be good at voiceover. So I just want actors to explore that more, because it can change your life, honestly. And you know, people are like, "Why are you telling people about voiceover? Like, you're going to create loads of competition." There's just enough work for everyone. I just believe in abundance. I just feel there's enough of the pie for all of us. I'll have my slice. You lot can have your slice as well. So this Thursday, we've got the voice of the X Factor, probably the most famous voice in the country, Mr. Peter Dickson, coming to do a session on everything voiceover with us. Now, Peter also runs the largest voiceover training company in the world. It's called Gravy for the Brain. They're literally on every continent. It's a huge company. And if I was going to set up an online training company for voiceover, this is what I would set up. So I'm not going to set one up, right? I'm more than happy for Peter to do that. I'll stick to Act on This. It's basically Act on This, but for voiceover artists. So here's a little trailer. If you've never seen Peter before, and yet you've watched The X Factor and you've watched Britain's Got Talent, and you will have heard his voice every week announcing all of the guests. This is Peter talking about what we're going to be doing on Thursday. And again, if you're not a member, you're going to want to join just so that you can get a piece of this, because I swear this one session could change the game for you. Actors, get ready. I am back once again with another invite for you guys to another incredible actonthis.tv live webinar taking place on Thursday, the 2nd of July at 7:30 p.m. with this man here, one of the most famous voices in the world, voice of shows like The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent. Mr. Peter Dickson, voiceover man, is in the house. Peter, thanks so much for doing this webinar. What are we going to be taking actors through on Thursday?
Well, thank you very much indeed for asking me on here. Well, of course, as actors, you have 70% of the skills you already need to become a voice actor. You're not starting from ground zero like a lot of people, but you do need to know certain things. And that's what Gravy for the Brain, my company that teaches, is the world's biggest training school after all. That's what we teach voiceover artists. Things like how to set up and design and build your own home studio. How do you know if it's good enough? We'll tell you. Self-directing in the studio. A lot of the time these commercials are made and various projects are made with you being left on your own to self-direct yourself. So you need to have that skill set. Things like marketing. How do you actually go about marketing your voiceover business? We'll tell you how to do that as well. It is a voiceover business after all, and you're in it as an independent entrepreneurial business owner. You need to know how to market your skill sets and how to bring in customers. We'll tell you how to create your own demo reels. Demo reels are your brochures, your glossy brochures that sit out there and advertise your skills and how you can become a voiceover artist and why people should hire you. And also you will need to have a website. A lot of hirers now hire people directly off personal websites, so your website needs to look absolutely fantastic too. Lots of things to think about, but you're more than halfway there.
Amazing. It's going to be absolutely jam-packed. If you want to get involved with this, actors, get yourself over now to actonthis.tv/live. You're going to get an opportunity as well to jump on camera with Peter, put your career questions to him live on the night. And Pete, a little bit of pressure now, 5 seconds on why actors don't want to miss it.
It's time to face the gravy, baby.
We'll see you there. actonthis.tv/live. actonthis.tv/live if you want to get involved. It is indeed time to face the gravy, baby. Oh, God, I can't do it. He'll do an impression of me, and he does it quite well, but I've not really got Peter Dickson down. I can say Rachel Ededeji. But yeah, Peter's awesome. Awesome guy. We're going to be covering, like, a shit ton in that webinar, okay? We're going to try and get Q&A in as well. We're going to bring you actors on camera. You can put your questions to Peter as well. There'll probably be a little less of that than normal just because there's so much to actually cover. I just want to give you value so that you go away from this webinar understanding, like, at least how to begin, at least how to start. And you can honestly, like, I'm not saying, don't think for a second I'm saying, right, that's it. You're all going to be voiceover artists. You're all going to be getting paid £4,000 an hour this time next week, right? That's unrealistic. That's taken me a decade and a bit to do that, right? But you can start, you can begin to really hone your skills. Begin to understand what goes into a voice reel that will book you jobs automatically rather than you having to audition for stuff. That's one difference in terms of the voiceover industry to the acting industry. You'll very often get booked off the strength of your voice reel, which is why it's so freaking critical that it is right. It is so important that your voice reel is right. It really is. So don't go and get a voice reel recorded without really understanding where you fit in the industry, what are the products that your voice would be used for, and understanding, like, the dynamic range of a voice reel and how you can make yourself sound like you have a lot more versatility Not that you don't have versatility, but you don't want to be like a jack of all trades. You really want to nail down your niche, but then within that niche be very versatile. And there's an awful lot of stuff to think about as well when you're doing voiceover reads. Your audience, who is it? That's going to affect your pitch, your tone, your musicality, your pace. There's so many different things to think about with voiceover. But you can begin, and then you can start booking jobs where like you are going to get paid, even, if you're good just to begin with, 200 quid an hour. There's not many jobs out there there's very few in there that get paid that. And there are, and it will happen maybe a couple of times in your career, but there are jobs out there as well where you'll get paid, I don't want to overhype it because people think I'm lying, but like there are some jobs, and there's some people that I know recently who have booked jobs that are like 75 grand for doing like 4 or 5 sessions a year for an hour, like 5 hours work. It's mental. I mean, you're talking about like national adverts there, though, that are played throughout the entire country, across radio, across the internet, cinema and TV. They're not common, those kind of jobs. I know someone where lightning has struck for this person twice in the last year, where they've got 2 of those jobs. And they ring me up the other day and go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm just sat here. I feel a bit guilty. I've just sat here and they just renewed the usage on this and it's 30 grand and I've had to do nothing for it. Don't think that's common, right? It isn't common. It isn't common. The most I've ever earned from one job, still not bad though, it's 35 grand. From one job. But that's like the only job that's been like over 10 grand. Like it was up there, but like, you don't really sniff at 10 grand though, do you? Ultimately, what I'm saying is I'm not going to try and hype this up and try and go, you're going to get rich and everything like that. But there is, if you're good and you're dedicated and you're prepared to put a decade of your life into this, there is some very decent money in it. But it isn't just a matter of recording a voice reel and doing nothing with it. It's not a matter of just recording a voice reel and letting a company do it for you without you understanding what you're recording, without you understanding what the scripts are, where you fit in the industry, researching the industry, starting out without an agent and having to get online, have a home studio set up that's not that expensive and it's not that complicated. Don't freak out about it. But where you will have to sit online and apply for jobs yourself through the pay-to-play sites, and they won't all be super, super high paid, but that's where you kind of like do your apprenticeship and you learn, and then from there you can get representation and then it becomes a lot easier. But that's going to be Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Be there. I want you on that. And members of atsonthis.tv, if I see a few of you in the comments talking about Gravy for the Brain, Peter's company. I'm just going to bring my web browser up for you guys who are watching as opposed to listening. But those who are listening, listen to this as well. In the members area on Ats on This, when you become a member of Ats on This, it's worth becoming a member to save on Gravy for the Brain, because a membership to Ats on This is £6 a week, but I think you get like a tenner a month off Gravy for the Brain if you're a member of Ats on This. So you almost get like your membership for half price. Right at the bottom of the members area here, all the way at the bottom, you see that one there? It says save on voiceover training with Gravy for the Brain. I'm not going to click into it, but if you click into that section, there'll be a link. You must click the link because it'll add the product to your cart over on the site. And then there's a discount code in there as well that you type into the box, and it will take 25% off your membership. So don't go and sign up without doing that, because you're throwing at least a tenner a month away by not using your discount code. While I'm in the members area as well, by the way, guys, I don't know if you've seen this. For those who are premium members, you're getting more value than ever now. So not only are you getting your weekly mastermind call with a top casting director, agent, actor, writer, voiceover artist like Peter, you're getting one of those every single week. We're now doing, did you get my email? We're doing something called Rapid Fire Fridays. Every other Friday, we get to jump on a Zoom call, all us lot who are, you premium members and me, and we're going to do a rapid fire Q&A session to finish the week strong. And that will be things like, say for instance, you want to get on and you need to contact a casting director, but you don't have their email address, or, you need some feedback on like something that you've done or an email you've sent, or just something that might be like stopping you. You feel like you've got a bit of a block. These sessions are meant for that. They're not really kind of like huge in-depth counseling chats where we talk about everything. It's like, right, I've got this problem right now. Can you help me? Maybe you want to read a draft of an email to me. It's like 30 seconds while you read that draft. And I'm like, right, let's okay it or let's change it. Rapid fire kind of, let's get on. And ultimately, I'm going to hold you accountable, and we're just going to get more stuff done. So that's going to be every other Friday. If you click into that section on your members area there, those listening, there's a new section in your members area called Rapid Fire Fridays, member-only Q&A sessions. Click into there. You'll see a whole calendar of every other Friday, and your Zoom link will be in there as well. And then you'll notice there as well, we've got these monthly Zoom social networking. I've conceded to the fact that we're not going to really be able to get out in person and have group, networking sessions like we used to have for probably a little bit longer, a couple of months longer maybe. So we're doing these on Zoom first Saturday of every month. We get on there, and then I'm going to break you guys down like we did when we did this last month. And we're going to break you into breakout groups where you're going to meet 4 new actors. We're going to do that 3 times. It's from 11 o'clock till 12:30. So if you join these, you'll maybe meet 12 actors you've never met before. We normally have like 100 people joining, or even actually, we did it on an evening. We had a couple of 100 people joining the networking event. So you're going to meet people from all over the place that you've not met before. And that's just a way for you to, ask questions, get support, and also maybe collaborate. You're going to be meeting new people. So for your membership, not only are you getting the live call with the guest, you're getting every other week the Q&A session, and then you're getting every month the networking session as well, plus the vault of everything that's previously been recorded on there. And like Gravy for the Brain, you know what? If you're a new member and you log into Gravy for the Brain, who was it who just joined today? Chris, is it you, mate? When you log in, man, God, like how overwhelmed did you feel where you're like, oh my God, there's so much content. Where do I start? Gravy for the Brain and Acts on This, they're kind of like the same. You can log into Acts on This and go, wow, there's 200 hours worth of stuff here, 250 hours worth. Where do I start? There is really on Acts on This particularly, no right route to go down. It's literally like, I just describe it as Netflix for actors. And like, look, if you're looking for an agent, go into the agent section and just hit play on one of the features with an agent. Like, there's no right or wrong answer with this. And Gravy for the Brain is quite similar, although there are courses in Gravy for the Brain that are set out for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. But they do webinars like I do, with guests each week. There's no order to do stuff in. I just think the more you can consume, just the better you're going to get, and the more understanding you have. Knowledge is power in this industry, in voiceover and in acting. And if there's 2 sites that are going to give you that, it's That's on This and Gravy for the Brain. Do check out your members area for a discount code if you haven't got one already. There's so much, says Chris. I realised how underprepared I was, but don't let that. So what happens is, I find this with loads of stuff, and it's a bit like the gym. It's a bit like getting all hyped up, joining the gym, and then not going because you don't know where to start, because you're like, right, okay, I've got so much I need to get on top of. I need to get on top of my cardio, my weights. I don't want to go into the weight section because people are going to look at me because I've never been here before. What if I do the exercise wrong? You've got to get over all that. Inaction leads to further inaction, basically. I had somebody today email me to say, hi, Ross, I bought a year's membership to Acts on This, and they bought it like 2 years ago, I think, when the price was half the price of what it is now. And when you join Acts on This, whatever price you join at, you get to keep as long as you keep paying that, whether it's monthly or yearly. You never pay any more. And this person was like, I'm really sorry, I've not had a chance to get on any of the stuff, so I'm going to cancel. I was like, right, okay, just want to let you know before you do, and it's totally cool. If I'm not gonna make you stay. But I just want to make you know, if you do go, you lose the half price membership that you've got, because there's no way for me actually technically to get that back. That's not me being cruel. It doesn't exist on the system. When the price goes up, the system changes. But also, the only reason you're leaving is because you haven't been actually consuming the content. And when you don't consume the content and you don't feel like you're making any progress, you don't feel good about yourself. So it's easier to get rid of the thing that you don't feel good about yourself for not using than it is to actually go, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to raise my standards instead. Rather than shutting this problem off, you're seen as a problem, but it's potentially the solution to everything that you need in your life, because that's what it is. If you get your acting career down, it's really what you want to do, and you get your voiceover career down, it's really what you want to do. All of your other problems will go away because you'll be happy doing what you're doing. You'll be earning loads of money, and life will be good. Whereas a lot of people, they go, no, it's too much work, so I'm going to cancel that and I'm going to kick that out of my life. As opposed to, I'm not going to go to the gym. You know what? No, rather than me sitting at home and eating a biscuit and feeling guilty because I'm not at the gym and using my gym membership, it's easier for me to just cancel my gym membership than it is to actually raise my own standards of what I demand from myself and go to the gym and put the biscuit down. So as long as you keep consuming, don't put pressure on yourself. As long as you're taking in a feature every couple of days or whatever. And the beauty of Acts on This, and I'm not sure on Gravy for the Brain actually if they give you the audio and the video of all the stuff. Like on the webinars for Acts on This, I give you the option. I'll just show you guys when you go into a feature. So if you go into Danny Mays' feature here, you'll see the video, and then underneath it you'll see the audio. So if you wanted and you were walking the dog, or you were you can't be in the gym at the moment, but doing a workout or whatever, and you don't, you're making the excuse of, I can't sit there for 2 hours and watch a video. I'm not asking you to do that. put headphones in. I listened to 4 hours of podcast yesterday cleaning my flat, and I love it. It's one of the highlights of my week, actually cleaning my flat, which sounds bonkers, but I know it's time away from the computer where I'm not staring at a screen and I'm listening and I'm taking in loads of information. I get really hyped up when I'm listening to podcasts. So yeah, just take in the stuff and don't put pressure on yourself for like, I've got to get through it all. You don't at all. As long as you're working towards, and you're consuming, you're working towards what you want, then that's all you can do. You can't end game it and try and go too fast, but there's no order and that's on this of how you can consume the content. Ollie says, when are the Q&As and when are the networking events? So Ollie, Q&As are every other Friday at 4 p.m. as it stands at the moment, 4 till 5 p.m. I thought a lot of people finish early on a Friday, even if you are working, so let's do them late afternoon. 4 till 5. They're not recorded. These are just rapid fire. Get in it when you can make it and just, let's just try and, help you through those roadblocks. The networking events are the first Saturday of every single month. And the next one falls next Saturday. What will they be, like the 4th of July? Something like, is it the 4th of July? Is it next? Yeah, of course it is. Oh my God. Yeah, it is. So I'm actually getting my hair cut and then we're going to do a networking event. Yes. I'm getting my hair cut 8:45. So the networking event starts at 11 till 12:30. So I'll be fresh. I'll be fresh to death on that one. So yeah, that's gonna be next Saturday. So again, in your members area, you'll find the links in there as well. Chris says he's excited. It stopped me making rookie mistakes already. Setting aside 2 hours a day to work on the stuff there. Yeah, honestly, it is for me. If I don't schedule stuff, what I've just ordered today. Let me share something with you because this is something that I work with a coach all the time. I've got a business coach. And I had a session with him this morning. And let me just share my screen. I've got to find this thing on Amazon just because I think this is going to be good for me because I like writing stuff down physically with my hand, and I make a load of notes and stuff on the computer, but it's just not the same. I don't think you get that whatever connection it is between doing something with your muscles and it connecting to your head. Typing doesn't give me that. But I bought, let's see if I can find it. What was it called? Because I was like, the coach I work with was like, mate, you need a whiteboard. I was like, yeah, but I've got nowhere to put it. And like, I've got really lovely walls here. I don't want to like trash my walls. But let me share my screen with you. I bought this. It's only 20 quid, but I think it's going to be pretty good. With some pens, it's like 26 quid. Here you go. Can you see that? You might not be able to see it depending if you're on your phone or not, but it's called Magic Whiteboard, a reusable, they're reusable sheets. I've never seen them before, but maybe you guys have. You get 25 A1 sheets that are reusable and you stick them to your wall. They don't damage your wall. You just stick them and you can, tear them off. It's absolutely fine. It's 20 quid for 25 sheets. It's less than £1 a sheet. And I bought some whiteboard marker pens and the little rubber things down there. It's £26 and 6p. And what I'm doing is I'm mapping out my social media goals on there in terms of what I have to post each day, because we realised that I'm massively underutilising for Acts on This Instagram. I know I do like some, so you'll notice I'm doing some more Instagram stories and stuff today. And that's because I'm not scheduling it. I find if I don't schedule stuff, it doesn't get done. That's just it for me, right? I'll get distracted or I feel like I'm overwhelmed, or I just find it hard to go, God, because I have a lot to do. There's only me in this business, really. I need to get some more help, really, when I can afford it. We need to grow the membership. Bring your friends. Get some more people on board. But yeah, that for me is going to be a big thing, scheduling it. So in terms of taking in content on Acts on This, taking in content on Gravy for the Brain, doing the modules, doing the lessons, listening to stuff, watching stuff, schedule it. Just schedule it and force yourself. It's going to be difficult the first few days. But when you've done something, 7-10 days, you start actually missing it when you don't do it. I think like it's around 21 days. People say anywhere between 30 days to 60 days to create a habit. There's a lot of science behind this. And then you hit something called habit gravity, where you're just like in the groove of things, but then actually kind of like the novelty starts wearing off and habit gravity starts pulling you back down. It's at that point you've got to dig deeper than ever to push through it. And then you hit like a point of no return there, where you really miss the thing if you don't do it. So that's the gym for me. I'm really missing it because I'd got it into my life over the last like 10 years, and now it's kind of gone. Whereas before it was an absolute chore to go to the gym. So just start scheduling in your life when you're going to do stuff. Just try it out. But I think having that thing up on the wall, every time I come into the office, I can look at it, even on days where I'm not feeling tip-top, and go, right, I've got to post an Instagram story today about this. And we created a little content calendar for me today where we went, right, what are the main topics actors want to hear about? And we broke it down to 7 topics. And then with each of those topics, we created 4 mini topics. So the 7 major topics are the 7 days of the week. And then the 4 micro topics are what I'm going to talk about on each of the 4 weeks. So we created a month's worth of content that I'm going to write onto that board when I get it on Friday. And then I'll know, okay, I'll come into the office in the morning. I'm like, right, I'm going to jump online. I'm going to talk to actors about this today, or I'm going to talk about that. And it might not always be what's on there, because something might just come up. And I'm like, actually, I just want to talk about that. But it will just give me some structure. So I don't have to think. So if you are like, right, okay, I'm looking for an agent right now, so I want to, I'm going to make sure I'm going to go into Acts on this, into the agent section. I'm going to find this agent, this agent, and this agent. I'm going to write down, okay, tomorrow you listen to this one, Wednesday listen to this one, Thursday listen to this one, and I promise you'll do it. But you've got to schedule stuff. Otherwise, you'll get to the point that girl got to, where she's like, oh, I'm just not listening to anything, so forget it, I'll cancel it all. And I get that, because it's easier to just get rid of what you are perceiving as the problem than to hold yourself accountable and stand up and go, no, wait a minute. If I just worked harder and used this tool, it's going to help me, break through the barrier that's in front of me now. But it just requires effort. But I find that actually scheduling stuff makes the effort, requires less effort to actually do the thing. Where can we see when our membership is due for renewal, says Sharon? It's a really good point, actually. If you pay through PayPal, it'll be within your PayPal account. That's dead easy. If you pay through Stripe, I wonder if... Do you know what? This is a little interesting test. I'm going to log in to Acts on This as my test account. And I'm going to see, Sharon, if it actually shows me my renewal date. Because if it doesn't, that's something that I'll ask the developers to see if we can put that in. So it's got my credit card. It's got my expiry date on there, and it's got my active subscriptions, but I don't think it shows me when my next billing period is. Yeah, that's something that I can have a look at, Sharon, and see if we can actually get that put into. I mean, if anyone wants to know, if you email me, I will have a record of it. I can absolutely tell you. If you want to have something where you can, see in your account and find out for yourself, that's something that I'll see if I can get my developers to look at and see if we can bring that information in. It's because no payment information is stored on the website to keep it all secure. That's all held completely securely off-site. So we'd have to try and bring just that date in, basically, which is not, that's not a security issue at all. I will have a look at that, Sharon. Good point. But if anybody is wondering when their renewal is up, then please just reach out and I will be able to tell you that. Absolutely no problem. But remember, if you have a yearly subscription or a monthly subscription, you will never pay any more than you do now, even if there are price increases. And there has been price increase recently. There was one last year as well. The price will probably increase yearly, but you'll just lock in that price and you will never pay more than that. But you've just got to keep that subscription active. The second you cancel it, I just can't get that back. It's not because I'm being horrible. I just can't get it back. So you would end up, if you're on a subscription now that you bought in like 2014 when it was something like 90 quid a year, you would instantly lose that, and then you'd be paying twice that if you came back now. So I like to reward people for getting in, and then you'll never pay more than that down the line. What else is going on in the comments? Esther says she listens to audiobooks. She gets both the book and the audiobook. And when it comes to acting books, yeah, I take in a lot of audiobooks as well. I just love listening to audio. I just really, really enjoy it. And just think, it just means I feel like I can get even more done because I can do something else as well while I'm listening. Julie's got a good question. Just checking out Regan Management, who to write to now. Yeah, so Nikki, I'm going to do a renewed feature. So yeah, Regan Management the Manchester branch was really headed up by Nicola Bolton, Brian Ippolizzi as well. Nicola has set up on her own now. She just put on Twitter the other day, Nicola Bolton Management, I think it's called. She's just her own agency. So in terms of, the structure of Regan, I will get some clarification from Bryony, what's going on there, and we'll also, I'm sure we'll get Nicola on to do a webinar, so she can talk to us about her new agency. We'll do that. Definitely, I'll do that soon, and I'm hoping to have a really established London agent on next week as well. We've got Peter Dickson this Thursday. We've got a London agent on next Thursday from a very big agency. And the week after that, I've pulled this out of the bag, right? So I did a CBeebies animation. If you've got kids, please get them to watch something called Tinpo, Tinpo, on CBeebies. I play Tinpo. I'm the leader of the pack because I'm the leader of the gang. And I did that animation with 3 other incredibly, way more experienced voiceover artists than me when it comes to animation. Lizzie Waterworth, who is the voice of Horrid Henry, Keith Wickham, who's the voice of the Fat Controller in Thomas the Tank, and Joe Roos, who's the voice of like loads of kids stuff. And I was initially I was hounding Lizzie to go, Lizzie, you know what, you're Horrid Henry. Everyone will want to talk to you about Horrid Henry and animation. Why don't you come and do a webinar with us? And that's something like the 13th of July. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we just try and get the whole gang on? So I've just confirmed it today. On the 13th, we're going to have the whole gang. It's going to be me, Keith, Lizzie, and Joe. You got like 3 of, I mean, I'm pretty experienced, but 3 of the most experienced. I really mean like the most experienced voiceover artists when it comes to animation in the industry. Going to be doing a mastermind call with us the week after next. And it's also Lizzie's birthday that evening. So I want you all to come with balloons and some drinks, and we'll have a little party for Lizzie on that night as well. So yeah, we've got loads, honestly, just such great stuff coming up for members of Acts on This. Peter says, can he change from card payment to PayPal? Not easily, Peter. No, not without it. Oh, again, I think you joined a while ago, mate, didn't you? If we try to swap it by cancelling the card and then repaying by PayPal, I'm not going to be able to get that. I'm sure you've been around donkey's years, Peter, haven't you? I'm sure you'll be on a cheap membership, mate. It's definitely safer for you to stay on card. If you can always change the card, and you can actually get PayPal debit cards as well, by the way, depending on the status of your account. I've got a debit card from my PayPal account, so you can actually just use that as a card somewhere, and it will take it from your PayPal balance. You might want to look at that. But yeah, Peter, that would be, I'm pretty sure you've been around a while, mate, so you'd be paying at least double to re-sign up. I can't let you do that. Yeah, but if you want to change your card, you can change your card in the billing section on your profile, no problem, mate, at all. Definitely. And Polly's she does have a purchase date on her members page. It's interesting, Polly. I think it depends on when you might have signed up and how you paid, depending on whether that is displaying. The developers of the software that I use to run the site update stuff all the time. They make it better all the time. And that's your yearly subscription. So yeah, maybe you have a purchase date on the yearly. If anybody's got any questions about when anything that's yearly is going to renew, monthly you'll know because it's the same date probably every month. It just happens every 30 days. But if you want to know when your yearly membership, is going to renew again, please just reach out and I can let you know that. Absolutely no problem at all. Definitely. Do you have any cool success stories from perhaps an older member who managed to get his career going? From an older member, Harry? I mean, we've got loads of success stories in the industry. I mean, in the Acts on This community, there's loads of people are working and signing with agents and stuff off the back of the webinars. I mean, people who spring to mind recently who've landed really good jobs. People like Alison Saxton in the English Game for Netflix, Michelle Parker working on Brassic with Joe Gilgan. Shout out to Stig Edwaney. Finally, we got him cracked into Coronation Street. That it was like his dream goal to get on Corrie for like the last 2 years. We did it. Steve smashed it. Leah did The Stranger for Netflix. Who else have we had? Sam did some fantastic work on Hollyoaks. I mean, there's people booking jobs all the time, mate. Peter, who we just talked to a minute ago. Peter, you're never like stopping working, mate. Peter does absolutely loads and loads of stuff. There's people doing stuff all the time, man. So, I mean, it's all just about reverse engineering what you want. That's the thing. And then going right. And then having the patience and the discipline to work towards it. There's no like formula where you can go, right, this and this and this will equal this. But there's certain things that you can do and you can rinse and repeat in your career that are just going to give you so much more chance of getting what it is that you want. And one of those things, without a doubt, is relationships in the industry, just nurturing relationships. I got it again twice this week. It's just frustrating where someone reached out to me, and rather than saying like, I've helped like people out a lot through this community just because like they've been nice to me, and I've gone, you know what, you just deserve a freaking break. So I'm really going to fight your corner. Like Dan Gillings, great member acts on this. It's always given nothing but value to me. What his scripts giving to Danny Brocklehurst, BAFTA winning writer. We sorted that out on a webinar. There's a lot of people who all of you guys who join in these Monday night broadcasts. I'll do anything for you because you're like loyal as hell, and I wouldn't have a community without you lot. But again, this week twice, it's just such a waste of your time. Someone reaches out to me. The first thing, one or two things will happen. They'll either send me an email and they'll say, I love all the podcasts you're doing, love all the broadcasts. Oh, I think they're absolutely amazing. And then I'll have a look at their email and cross-reference it with the membership database. And they're not even on my email list. They've not even watched anything. They've not been a member ever. They're clearly lying. It's just nonsense. It's a publicist reached out to me and said the same thing about, oh, my client would love to do this with you. They're a big fan of this. I was like, right, your client has never, ever joined in anything that I've done. You're just lying because you just want some exposure. And then someone this week signed up, and the first thing, rather than reaching out and saying, just lying to me and just actually kind of like pretending that they were just joining because they wanted to join, they should have just done that. But no, the first message they sent me was, hi, I've created an online acting school, and I'd like to propose an affiliation. And I'm just like, fuck off. It's basically like just saying, hi, yeah, I've opened a bar. Can you bring all of the people to fill it for me? It's just absolute nonsense. So relationships in this industry are all predicated on being a good person, being kind, adding value, and giving and giving and giving, at least on the first 3 occasions you meet somebody, without asking for anything back. And that's something that people can be doing all the time. And that's nothing to do with the acting industry. That's just life. Just being a decent person will get you so far, where people end up. There's been people where I've been so tempted to ask for something, either directors or casting directors who I've met and I've done features with, and I've been like, fuck, like, I'm so tempted to ask you for this, and I've held back because I'm like, no, you know what? This is not what I'm in this for. I'm not running this to, just get stuff out of people. And then because I've been patient, like 2 months later, 3 months later, they've texted me and offered me the thing that I was actually, would have asked for. And maybe if I'd have asked for it, they would have gone, God, that's a bit upfront and a bit cheeky. So you just got to bide your time and know when it's appropriate and when it's doing the right thing. Just doing the right thing is always the right thing, which sounds very obvious. But something that you can do, definitely, Harry, all the time, mate, in terms of just working towards your success, and for everybody, it's just nurturing those relationships, being patient, working hard, putting out good content, having great self-awareness of where you fit in the industry and figuring out, who you are. It sounds a bit sort of out there, doesn't it? But like who you are as a person, who you are as an actor, where you fit, and being realistic with yourself about where you fit as well. Because, that's not about limiting yourself. But like, there's certain things I would love to play that I'm like, I just don't know if I would be. When I look at it objectively, side by side, like, you know what? Now I'm probably a bit better in this niche here. This is probably where I excel. This is where I'm most comfortable. So it's about, playing to your strengths a lot of the time as well, not focusing necessarily on your weaknesses. I think sometimes society has lied to us, and school lied to me when they were like, right, okay, Ross, you're brilliant at English and you're great at this and drama and all this sort of stuff, but, maths, you're not that great at that. Maybe you should just focus on that. And you know what? I did. I focused on it. I got, I still got an A in my GCSE in the end, only just by literally like on the dot. I couldn't have got 1% less and I wouldn't have got it. But I put myself through so much shit and turmoil and just like anguish, like learning how to do that. It wasn't enjoyable at all. What they should have said at school is, Ross, you're really good at this. Tim Robbins, who was one of my mates, is brilliant at maths. I used to try and copy off Tim. Even in exams, I'm just going to hold my hands up. But my eyesight was so bad, I couldn't see. So I had to sometimes like really make it obvious. I was like dropping my pencil, like leaning over to try and look at Tim's answers. I hated maths. I really hated it. What they would do in the real world, or they should have told me at school, don't focus on your weaknesses, Ross. It'll just make you sad. Why don't you focus on your strengths, double down on those, and then we'll get you to work with Tim, and together you can create some amazing stuff. And that's what we do in the acting industry. We go, right, okay, you're incredible at comedy, so let's play to that strength. Let's not make you do all of these scenes, and then we'll get someone who can do those scenes to join, and then together you can create some amazing scenes together. I just think playing to your strengths is just always a better option, at least when you're starting off in your career anyway. You can challenge yourself later on, but when you're looking for those first TV jobs, you need to you know, you need to kind of be realistic and just self-aware, really. I've got a little clip here from Danny Mays that says, getting your first TV job. What did Danny say about first TV jobs? Let's have a look. This is from last week's broadcast. I've no idea what this is, but let's check it out.
So I finished drama school a year ago, but I'm still sort of auditioning and I've not had my first TV credit yet.
Right.
Do you have any advice on how I should sort of put myself out there?
I mean, look, the biggest element of all of this thing that we do is to have staying power, to not be despondent. Do you know what I mean? It's about putting your sort of armor plating on and being as resilient as possible. You obviously got representation. It's about having dialogue, as a good dialogue with your agent, and having a clear understanding of where but you know, you've got to be on the same page with one another. But you've just got to hang in there, because I know that job that you're dreaming about is only around the corner. But it's a very, very difficult time, because you have to stay positive and upbeat about the whole situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you reaching out to the people who were getting on as well? Like, you know, Victor Jenkins, Andy Briley the other day. Have you sort of, you know, been in touch with the people who were getting on? Just even if it's literally just, hey guys, I want nothing from you. Just wanted to say thanks. Quick tweet or whatever. Your Twitter profiles, your headshot, just so they're seeing that in case they see you on a submission or something. I don't know. Just sort of developing some kind of touch points so that people might begin to, you know, recognize the name.
Once you get through the door, once you get your first credit, you know, hopefully work breeds work, because, you know, you're easy to work with, you're reliable, you're not rude. All of those, you know, things you need as a human being come to the fore. And I mean, like, as I said, it's like cast directors, and then your relationships move on to the producers. And another key thing for me has been directors wanting to come back and reinvestigate the working relationship and trying something else. So it's just getting that first gig, isn't it, really? But I know it's going to happen for you.
Boom. Again, if you want to watch the full interview, at onthis.tv, get yourself a membership. But yeah, staying power. That's you know, that's why I clearly lined that up, because it was all about, you know, patience, man, patience and hard work. Gary Vaynerchuk taught me that patience and hard work make you dangerous. And I agree with that. And like, you know, for most of us on here, we're very fortunate, you know, to have, like, you know, even, I don't know, I mean, everyone on here, generally speaking, what are the age groups? We've all got, I think the minimum on here, we've probably still got 40 years left, guys. You know, that's more than I've lived already. And Harry, mate, how old are you? You're like well young. You've probably got like 70 years, 80 years left on the planet. Marcelo's in the house. All right, Marcelo, cheers, man. I got a reply from your agent today, who sounds absolutely lovely. So is Marcelo. That's, you know what? That's what I'm talking about. That's giving. So Marcelo got to talk to Danny, asked some great questions on the webinar, and then reached out because he heard me say at the end of the webinar, you know what, I want to get some like top tier, some London agents on. And Marcelo is with one of said agents and was like, listen, I've had a word with my agent and she's, you know, got to get permission from the bid dogs, but you know, the top cat. But you know, if they're happy with her doing a webinar, you know, then yeah, we're going to do it. So she seems absolutely lovely, Marcelo, such a lovely woman. So fingers crossed. Yeah, you know, we'll do a webinar next week with Lizzie. So I appreciate that, mate. But that's really kind of you. So you know, thanks for that. What's you saying, Sharon? I really need Ross to get Andy Pryor on a Zoom. Yeah, well, Andy had just done a podcast with us not long ago, him and Ree McDade-Wren. So I've let Andy off for now because I've like, Andy, you're probably a bit zoomed out, mate. But I will definitely. Andy is like Andy's just such a good egg. Honestly, do you know what? There's like I say it all the time. Like, there's not many people who are having success in this industry that just great. Honestly, it's generally speaking, if you get dickheads in life and in this industry, there's a reason for it. It's because they're just not happy, right? They're just living with pain in their head, right? So always be kind to those people. If people spend time writing something negative on a piece of content that you've put out or calling you a name, or I get people emailing me, literally telling me to fuck off. And I'm like, you've joined my email list. Like, what? And I'm sending you an invite to a feature that's going to help you. I'm just trying to help you. But like, you've got to kill them with kindness when it comes to that, because imagine how bad your life must be if you are living with that in your head, where you feel so like bad inside and you're hurting so much that just seeing someone else putting something out that you might not like or you don't think is very good, you'll comment negatively on that. You know, it's not a nice place. Those people need more love than the people who give you lots of praise. But the people that I have seen in this industry, and you know, the people that we get on Acts on this, generally incredibly successful. Look at Daniel Mays. Crazy amounts of success that guy is having. How nice is he? How giving is he? Was he like that before he had success? I'm guessing 100% yes, because I think that's responsible for his success. That's why he is successful. So you've got to start behaving like you are successful and you are kind and giving, even before you think you are in your head, and you are anyway, right? Who's anyone to say what success is? Success is just being happy, innit? Let's be honest. That's all it is. I know some very, very miserable millionaires. It's not about the money at all. And I also know someone who won £58 million on the Euro lottery 3 weeks ago. I don't know him, but I know the electrician who does my lights here, basically. It's his brother-in-law who just had his mortgage paid off for him, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I wouldn't mind the bit of the Euro Millions. But yeah, generally speaking, the successful people are lovely. Andy Pryor is successful. He's freaking lovely. Such a good heart, like so kind. Daniel Edwards, so kind. You know, Andy, Victor, all the casting directors we've had on recently, Kelly Valentine Henry, just all of them, Jill Trevelyan, Rachel Freck. These are working on the biggest stuff. Martin Gibbons is another one we've had on recently. Just all of them. Don't want to leave anybody out, but every single guest that I've ever had on this, I've had them on because they're brilliant people, and I think they're so successful because they were brilliant people before they were successful. So just that's my tip of the day. Just be brilliant. Just be brilliant. So Marcelo says, absolute pleasure, Ross. Hopefully the big dogs will play ball. I hope so. I mean, you know, Lizzie's in good company. That's what I love. When you can email someone and say recent guests were Daniel Mays, David Harewood, Matt Lucas, Rachel Freck, Jill Trevelyan, and the biggest casting directors like in the industry. I think agents will probably go, it's probably quite legit. So yeah, hopefully they will play well. It is 10 past, Linda. Thank you for reminding me. I just realised, yeah, we've gone over tonight. But yeah, so I'll wrap it up. But yeah, really hope to see you guys on Thursday with Peter Dickson. Oh yeah, Faye Timby and Sophie Holland, Alex. I won't miss those out. I don't want to miss anyone out. Like, love you all everyone who's been involved with that's on there. It's amazing. So yeah, I will see you guys Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Please spread the word. What would mean the world to me is if you could just create a little bit of noise on Twitter. I just need some help, particularly now Facebook have banned my Facebook ads. I found out why I got banned on Facebook, and I'm hoping I'm going to reverse it. I put an appeal in and they're looking at it for me. But I got anyone who's running a business and you're running Facebook ads, there is a lot of policy around Facebook ads with Facebook, and if you break the policy, they will disable your ads account. It can be crippling for your business, so play ball. But I didn't understand how we broke policy. I was like, I don't get it. We follow so stringently the policy, and there's a lot of policy, but I thought maybe I've missed something. What it was, I figured out now, one of the clauses, clause 27.9, is that you're not allowed to use public figures in an advert to sell. In their wording, it says to sell a scam product. Now, I don't think you should use any imagery to sell a scam product. But basically what they're saying, I've seen a few of these. Have you ever seen those adverts on Twitter? And it'll be like a picture of Holly Willoughby with like looking really shocked or something. And it'll say like, you know, it'll be an advert for some cryptocurrency kind of like make millions kind of bullshit. And they're like linking the celebrity with this thing that they have never been a part of. They're clamping down massively on anyone using public figures on their ads or on the website their ad leads to. Now, obviously, I'm using on the website that my ad leads to, on the landing page on Act on This, is pictures of people like David Harewood and Matt Lucas and, you know, all of these famous people. And they've obviously, their algorithm has picked it up and gone, wait a minute, they're selling a product based on famous people, not realizing that the famous people are part of the product. So they're reviewing that for me now. And someone called Aldrin, shout out to you, Aldrin, Facebook, wherever you are in the world, is figuring that out for me, and they passed it to the internal team, and their wording was, we're going to sort this out so it won't happen again. So I'm hoping I'm going to be reinstated because they've realised I'm legit. But that's a little warning for anyone who is running a business. If you're running Facebook ads, please go and read up on the policy. There's pages and pages of it. It might take you an hour to get through, but once you read it all, you'll really understand where you stand with advertising. I didn't think I'd broken a rule until I saw that clause and thought, well, I mean, I haven't. I have technically broken it, but for the right reason, if you know what I mean. So I'm hoping they're going to reinstall that. But until then, I just need you guys to just kind of make some noise for me about Thursday and just invite other actors, get people involved with this community. Don't forget, if you invite people through your affiliate link, and if you're not, I'll end on this because I know you've got to go. But if you go into the members area, click on your picture, go into members area, there's a red product in here that says share, act on this and earn pounds every month. There's a little training in there. It only takes you 20 minutes to go through, just 5 videos. And once you've been through that, you'll have a unique link. Just share your unique link with people. And if people click on it and then they get a membership, you get 25% of their membership on an ongoing basis. I just want to reward you guys for helping me grow the community. So, yeah, you will get, there's no limit to that. You can just earn and earn and earn depending on how many people you bring. What I would suggest for those who have got an affiliate link already is there's a few links within the affiliate dashboard, so you can link directly to the sales page where people will sign up for membership. I wouldn't suggest doing that because people are just going to like a payment page without having seen anything. Just send them to the homepage on Act on This. You've got a share link that will just send people to the homepage on Act on This. And the homepage has been designed to really showcase the product and tell people exactly what it is, to show it off to its best. So the homepage will do the selling for you. You shouldn't need to really convince anybody once they've seen the homepage. Because if I was an actor and I was looking at that and going, oh my God, I get access to all this, I'd just be signing up straight away. So yeah, don't send people directly to the sign-up page because they're not going to see any of the promo. If they don't know what Act on This is, they're just going to be like, why are you asking me to pay for something? Send them to the homepage, and the homepage will do the work for you. But yeah, that's just one way you guys can earn money. I want to help you earn money, because it's hard right now, isn't it? Ain't none of us getting any acting work right now. So yeah, it's just one way for you guys to earn some cash there, whilst helping me grow the community, which is cool. Right, any other burning questions? Absolutely, it's the least I could do. Thank you, Sarah Jane, appreciate that. Yeah, just shout a little bit. That would honestly just mean the world to me. And just invite people, who you think would be the good eggs. We just want positivity. If you've got positive friends who are like really optimistic about life right now, even at the darkest of times, bring them into community. We would absolutely love to have them, and hopefully they'll get to speak to Peter on Thursday night. So I'll play this again just for those who missed it at the start. This is happening Thursday, and 7:30 p.m. I really want to see you there, and I want to help you start your voiceover career. Because seriously, when I think back before I had a voiceover career and I was working for minimum wage in that shop, and it just seemed like I had no escape, no exit, just didn't know how I'd get out. Voiceover was the thing. I'm so grateful to the voiceover gallery, my agents, Mary Lou, who's the head of the voiceover gallery. It's her company, for giving me that opportunity. I don't know what I would be doing now. I wouldn't be doing this because I wouldn't have had the time to build Acts on This. I wouldn't have had the time to audition. I wouldn't have had the time to go to classes. And honestly, I don't know if I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't think I'd still be in that shop because I wouldn't be able to handle it, but I would be doing something that probably was nothing to do with this industry. So yeah, if you're in that position, there is hope. Voiceover can save the day. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to really get good at your craft. And you've got to commit to it just as much as you do your acting career. Don't say, no one come and say to me, one way to really get my back up is coming and saying to me, hi Ross, yeah, I'd like to do voiceover on the side as well. Because I'll be like, right, you're going to lose. Because it's not what you do on the side. It's just as important as your acting career. And if you commit to it as you would your acting career, you will win. So join us 7:30 p.m. for this, and I'll catch you guys on next Monday's broadcast as well. Until then, lots of love. Bye for now. Actors, get ready. I am back once again with another invite for you guys to another incredible actonthis.tv live webinar taking place on Thursday, the 2nd of July at 7:30 p.m. with this man here, one of the most famous voices in the world, voice of shows like The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, Mr. Peter Dickson, voiceover man, is in the house. Peter, thanks so much for doing this webinar. What are we going to be taking actors through on Thursday?
Well, thank you very much indeed for asking me on here. Well, of course, as actors, you have 70% of the skills you already need to become a voice actor. You're not starting from ground zero like a lot of people, but you do need to know certain things. And that's what Gravy for the Brain, my company that teaches, is the world's biggest training school after all. That's what we teach voiceover artists. Things like how to set up and design and build your own home studio. How do you know if it's good enough? We'll tell you. Self-directing in the studio. A lot of the time these commercials are made and various projects are made with you being left on your own to to self-direct yourself. So you need to have that skill set. Things like marketing. How do you actually go about marketing your voiceover business? We'll tell you how to do that as well. It is a voiceover business after all, and you're in it as an independent entrepreneurial business owner. You need to know how to market your skill sets and how to bring in customers. We'll tell you how to create your own demo reels. Demo reels are your brochures, your glossy brochures that sit out there and advertise your skills and how you can become a voiceover artist and why people should hire you. And also you will need to have a website. A lot of hirers now hire people directly off personal websites, so your website needs to look absolutely fantastic too. Lots of things to think about, but you're more than halfway there.
Amazing. It's going to be absolutely jam-packed. If you want to get involved with this, actors, get yourself over now to actonthis.tv/live. You're going to get an opportunity as well to jump on camera with Peter, put your career questions to him live on the night. And Pete, a little bit of pressure now, 5 seconds on why actors don't want to miss it.
It's time to face the gravy, baby.
We'll see you there, actonthis.tv/live.